6 months. So they developed this technology from the Germans of blowing the product up into the air and coating it with spirulina and lecithin. The coating has to be thick enough it don't crack. Now, all the other companies just spray a coating on, but you can't do that, guys, because once the coating cracks, everything oxidizes. So if you look at the coating on the product, it's very unique, and it'll keep the life in it for about 6 months. And that coating has never been copied by anybody. We today coat all of our own products with this kind of coating. The coating is incredibly important. Next slide, please. Now, this is going to be interesting for you. A number of years ago, I was traveling all over the United States doing meetings, and I was in Kentucky, and I met this Catholic nun who had been spending a lot of time trying to prove the life in our food. And she created this chromatogram picture, and she figured out a way to take an actual picture of the molecule that Mother Nature had given us. Now at the top, I want you to look at that. It's called Baker's Earth. That's the richest soil on Earth. That's what you try to use as a standard to grow on. If you can create Baker's Earth, you've created the finest raw materials on Earth. So Shaklee uses this model in trying to keep our soil at this level. Now, right below that, you're looking at, on the left, ascorbic acid. Everything man does is a chemical. It's dead. It's got nothing inside of it. They call it vitamin C, but it's ascorbic acid. On the right is the entire structure of vitamin C as she took it away from the orange. You'll see the vitamin C has many amino acids all around the outside, but I want you to look at the network of life that goes into the center of the molecule. That is vitamin C, the way Mother Nature made it. Next slide, please. Now, I want you to look at the top, because that wonderful lady got us some of our products, and as a gift back to me, she did a chromatogram on some of Shaklee's products. At the top, you're looking at Baker's Earth. I want you to look at the structure of that natural vitamin C. I want you to look what happens if they make it into orange juice, and I want you to look at orange drink. You'll see the physical destruction of the entire center of that molecule. Now let's go down at the bottom. On the left is Vital E. Now I want you to look at the structure of the molecule of Vital E, and I want you to look at the structure of the natural vitamin C. I want you to look at our alfalfa, look at the structure, and look at our herblax, look at the structure. That is very important for you to realize. Keeping that structure alive is a very critical part of Shaklee's development. Next slide, please. Now, this is a very interesting story. When Roger Barnett bought the company, he had a lady he knew at Berkeley School of Medicine. Gladys Block was the director at Public Health University at the University of Berkeley. Roger Barnett had been so fascinated looking at people who had used Shaklee products for 20 years, and then he started to realize there was a real difference in these people after using the product. So he asked Gladys Block if she would do a clinical study and prove that using Shaklee products for 20 years had validity. Now, Gladys Block said she would do it, but she was going to publish the results, good or bad. So what Gladys Block did, she took 200 people that had used Shaklee products for 20 years. She took 200 people that were using other vitamins, and she took 200 people who had never used the Shaklee product. And so she ran this study. After she ran the study, it was published in all the major medical journals. It's the only study ever done in the major medical journals. And I want you to look, and I want you to realize The Shackley users are blue on the left. But I want you to, she said, once she did this, she went around to every nutrition company and offered to do it for them and said, but I will publish the results, and not one would do it. Not one would come into Berkeley and prove their products. Not one of the nutrition companies would come in. So she published them. Now, if you take a look, number one, at the incidence of diabetes, and I want you to look at the blue on the side, and where the users of Shackley products, I'm sorry, is on the right. So you look at the users of people who have used products, other vitamins, never used vitamins, and then Shackley, the incidence of heart disease, Shackley on the right, congestive heart failure, Shackley on the right, risk of stroke, Shackley on the right, risk of coronary heart disease, Shackley on the right, triglyceride level, Shackley on the right, C-active protein, which is very good indicator of the body's ability to produce cancer, Shackley on the right, homocysteine, and then of course HDL, which is the best of the, you want that high, and that was Shackley. Now this was published in 2007 in the Nutritional Journal. It came out in 6 major journals. This is the only deal that's ever been done like this anywhere in the world. And the thing about it is, it showed the verification of people who had used Shackley products for 20 years. Okay, next slide, please. Now you wonder where we get our raw materials. And you just got to realize there's places all over the world that have tremendous raw materials. So a lot of our products come from all over the world. Now, to become a producer for Shackley, you have to have a deal that, number one, the soil has to be right. Number two, you have got to be able to do and produce the same product. Now, if you take a Shackley product today and go back 10 years ago and take the same product, the ingredients will be the same. We do not have ingredient changes. So we want to look today where we get a lot of our raw materials, because there's a lot of places on earth that have incredible raw materials. Okay, next slide, please. So Roger Barnett worked on a life strip. And he wanted to work on a strip that you could sell to somebody and they would get a little bit of all the ingredients which you see on that screen today. Now, to be able to get all those ingredients, this has been an incredible feat of our Vivek strip. And I want you to realize this Vitalizer strip that we've developed is really unique. Next slide, please. And you'll see how powerful that strip is. And I'm going to tell you, to get all those ingredients from a strip is pretty remarkable. But because we use the kind of raw materials we use, with the extraction process we use, we can produce a product like this. There's no product on the market like it. But you got to remember, the coating has to be there, the raw materials, the ingredients have to be there, and you have to have growers that can do this. This is a tough job. Okay, next slide, please. Now, I want you to particularly look at this, and I want you to look at that product I just showed you. It's got a delivery system called a smart delivery system. Okay, push the slide, Joe. See how it comes down? Now, all of that is absorbed into the body by the pH of the body. So whatever the pH is where the absorption is going to be. See, B12 and the B vitamins have to go in a certain place. There's only about 3 inches in there that you can absorb it. Well, everything in the smart delivery system was done because of the pH in the body. Nobody's ever developed this kind of technology. They've learned where a lot of things have to be absorbed for you to get them. That is the main reason I'm telling you today, we have got something that nobody else in the world has got, and that's our ability to give you a delivery system that will put the product into your body. Next slide, please. Now, we want to go on here, and I want to explain my top selling product is our protein. And I said to all of you, I want you to be aware here that the plant has to make the protein. I'm telling all of you right now, the plant has to make the protein. Now, Dr. Shackley looked a long time for the plant that could make all 9 of those amino acids in one place. Now, you need all 9 of those. The reason you need all 9 of those is because each one of those 9 are responsible for every part of development in your body. The brain tissue, the connective tissue, the nerve tissue, the muscle tissue, the collagen has to have one of these to start the rebuilding. Because we designed it this way, we're giving you a product that all of those enzymes are alive. That's why you get such great results. Because when you take this product every morning, every piece of the body is rebuilt and recovers. Now, guys, this is the reason people fall apart. Because if you take 1 or 2 of these out of your meals, you don't get them. Well, a period of time, pretty soon your nerve tissue starts to break down. Then your muscle tissue starts to break down. Now, the other thing I want you to understand, very important here, we have in the body storage cells. The storage cells will pick up the amino acids first. When they pick them up, they store it. So during the day, if you have any kind of stress where the body has a demand for more protein, it won't go to the muscles. It's going to go to the storage cells and get these amino acids. The only way you can build the storage cells is you've got to have the amino acids released within 15 minutes after they go in. That's a very critical thing. I worked with the U.S. Olympic team for 5 years. And I'll tell you, these guys did miraculous because they could drink this product, get their storage cells built to a very peak, and then they had a lot of extra amino acids while they were exercising and going through any kind of physical situation. And they didn't attack their muscles. You do not want to attack your muscles. If you start attacking your muscles, you're going to go through muscle loss, and you're going to get some bone loss out of it. People, this is remarkable. Now, this is a remarkable protein, and you're not going to find this protein anywhere else in the world. We've been doing this for 100 years, and I'm going to tell you, we've got the answer, we've got the product, we've got the delivery system, and we've got everything. Next slide, please. Now, I'm going to share something with all of you that you're going to probably never have heard. And I want you to look in the box on the right. The Maillard reaction process, whenever you cook a food, you denature it and make it into something different. In order to denature the compounds like the antithyroid substance, then you begin to rearrange the amino acids in the soy, and they become toxic. You can't heat the protein. You can't heat soy protein. Dr. Shackley worked a long time for this cold process. If you heat it, it becomes toxic. Now today, everybody that's tried to make soy products have made them toxic because they don't know how to process it. Dr. Shackley worked a long time to figure out this processing. We have been selling this product for the last 70 years and have never had a product recall. Never had a product recall. And I want you to understand, you cannot use heat to make soy protein. Now, we also have a cold extraction technique that we use, and that is another whole topic which would take me too much time today to go through with you. But I just want you to realize, gang, you ain't going to find anything like this anywhere in the market. And this is the reason I do almost 1 million a month. 1 million a month. You realize the market that's sitting out there for this product worldwide? And I'm going to tell you something. If we ever get into a food crisis in this country, you can live on this product. And that's the beauty of it. You can. I have 5 cases stored in my little warehouse, and I rotate through those 5 cases. If we ever have a problem, I'm living on this product. Okay, next slide, please. Now we've got a non-protein energizing soy that's been developed. I don't prefer this product. I still believe in the soy, but it is an excellent product. They got added leucine into it, and they've got it. It's a great product, but it's not been my big mover over the years. I've sold soy to everybody. I've even sold soy to people that said soy was terrible. You can't eat soy, it's toxic. Well, we proved that differently. So, I mean, I've got a big market in this. Next slide, please. Now, once you look at sustainability, if you're going to produce a product, you want to produce the same product every year. So we have growers that sign a deal that when they get their raw materials and they send their raw materials to Shaklee, Shaklee goes through 30 tests to make sure all the ingredients are in there that's supposed to be, and then they next year have to produce the same raw materials. If there's any change in the raw materials, they're out. They've got to get their land back before we'll take the product. Now, nobody else does this, gang. Nobody else. They can talk a big story, they can tell you a lot of stuff, but nobody else has sustainability. If you take a can of protein from 10 years ago, bring it today and test it, it's going to be exactly the same as the one you're making today. Now that goes into our cosmetic line, it goes into our cleaning line, and every product in the sports line. This is all comes from this sustainability. Next slide, please. Now, that is the amino acid of life. It's still a mystery. We don't even know what's in there yet. Dr. Shaklee told us vitamin C and all vitamins are like looking at a fishbowl. There are many fish in there, but which one is most important? You can't take any one out without changing the whole structure. That's why what we replace from nature with synthetic, man does not know what's in that bowl to make up the amino acids and vitamins of your life. We still got mysteries, gang, but why in the world would a company try to fight it? We don't. And this is why you can look at this company and respect the 100 years that we've been in this thing. Next slide, please. Now, I want you to look at another product called Vivix. Now, this is an incredible story, and I have slides just to do this story, but Dr. David Sinclair at the University of at Harvard Medical School was looking for a way to reduce the body ability to age. And he discovered something nobody in the world has ever discovered, and that was a resveratrol. And he started working on it. He started realizing that he had something there. He made it synthetically for SmithKline Beecham. SmithKline Beecham paid him $750 million for the rights to do it synthetically, and the synthetic didn't work. Only the natural worked, and he gave it to Shaklee. Gang, we got the only one in the world that works. It actually reverses the aging of the cells in your body, and it does a lot of great things. This is one miracle product, and you're going to learn that there's nobody has reproduced this product. Our Nutriferon was Dr. Kachima at the University of Tokyo discovered interferon. Interferon is the substance in your immune system that absolutely gives it its ability to fight disease. Dr. Kachima realized that he lost most of it every time your body gets into a situation where it's fighting cancer, fighting a virus. and he wanted a way to reproduce in the body quicker. He spent 40 years, gang. 40 years of his life he spent. And Yamanouchi funded it for 40 years. I was in Italy when Yamanouchi introduced this to us, and they told us there'll never be another product like this anywhere. This today is a miracle product. Right now, we're working with a pandemic. If you'll notice, the virus that right now is taking everybody's life in this flu disease, we got the answer, gang. We've got the answer. You're going to build a super immune system with this product. This is my #1 selling product. And I'm going to tell you something, gang. This is going to become a pandemic. I ran the clinical laboratories. I was a supervisor in there. I was doing cancer research and I was doing the bacteriology. We noticed every year that we're not going to be able to stop the viruses with antibiotics because they were mutating faster. Right now, you've got several viruses that have gone past the ability of man to stop them. So you got to understand, we got a product here that answers all the questions. Next slide, please. Well, I'm not going to go through all these value time because time's going to get away from me. We have a B complex. Nobody has ever been able to do. We've taken it for yellow yeast. We've got an Omega Guard that I can spend hours on. We've got a blood pressure product, and we've got MindWorks. It actually gets the mind activated again. Okay, next slide. Well, we've got a line of cleaning products that all return to nature in 7 days. They will not harm one human cell of the body. They're the most incredible cleaning line ever created by any company on earth. We have a skincare line that is all a vitamin line to the skin. And there's a real story about these products that some other time we can spend more time on. Next slide, please. Well, Shackley lets you come in with a gold pack. And the reality of this is when you come into this, I just want you to realize there is an entry into this incredible business. Every company I start today starts with a gold pack. When you get your gold pack, I want you to realize you need to set up a company office and you need to start the company development program, which someday I want to teach you all. The company development program, I started in Shackley. I had 7 kids. I quit my job at the clinical laboratories and I hit the road with no money. I went out and started sharing this story, set up company offices, and I grew faster than anybody's ever grown in Shackley. I was a master coordinator in 18 months, doing $250,000 a month. And I've gone on to become one of the top right now in Shackley. I'm #6 in the company. Next slide, please. Well, when you start today, you're coming into an online business. You're going to set up a company office. Like I told you, you're going to go into partnership with Shackley, and you're going to start the development of a network. Now, this network development is what's made all of us millionaires. We learned how to build a network. I started with one person in 1973. Today, I've got millions of people. This network of mine has grown and grown and grown and grown. But I want you to understand, you are going to become a millionaire. It is impossible not to. Because if you understand network development, you'll understand how we all got to become millionaires. And I want you to realize Shackley is your sole supplier, but you and I are in business together. I'm your partner. You guys are in my organization, and I take that very seriously. So I'm here to help train you. I'm here to help train your people. I'm here to help train your people's people. And I believe I tell you, if you follow what I'm going to teach you, you're going to become rich. Now, first of all, I want you to understand, you're going to build a network, and you're going to get to director. A director is a key value in Shackley. Next slide, please. When you become a director in Shackley, you now open up everything to you. You now open up the entire marketing plan. So I want you to understand, as a director, you own this network. Now, you think I have been offered a lot of money for my network? You think I've made a lot of money in Shackley? I could sell my network today for a lot of money. It's got value. It's going to create wealth. Even starting with it today, it's going to create wealth. Now, when you start in this business, you can do it from anywhere. I used to love to go to Hawaii, right off my trip to Hawaii, spend 2 weeks in Hawaii, enjoying Hawaii, building my business. Nice thing, you can do it anywhere. So you can do it in Hawaii, you can do it in Indonesia, you can do it in Malaysia, you can do it anywhere. And that's the beauty of it. I started to sell this company office idea. I told them, I'm going to set you up in a company office. I'm going to start developing you. You can become a director, and you and I are in partnership together. Now, when you sign up, become a director, Shackley's going to give you 20% on your business. But when you build your first director underneath you, he breaks out of that network. Now, I want you to understand, guys, this is exciting. Anybody in that network that makes director is going to move up to the first director in your network. I've had 7th level people move up the first level in that network because people in between didn't do anything. So when you break your first director, you get $1,000 from Shackley in the fast track program. When you break your second director, now they can come up from any place, you get $3,000. When you break your third director, you can get $10,000 just from this piece of the program. Just from this fast track piece is where you start to make the big money. Next slide, please. Now, I want you to understand Roger Barnett today created a piece of this plan that I tell you are going to make you a lot of money, called a SPOTIC. A SPOTIC is Shackley's patented infinity program. Now, as your network starts to build, you're going to start getting paid extra 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%, all the way up to 8% infinity money on the entire organization. And it never, ever stops. You can go 27 levels deep and get paid. So I want you to realize this infinity program, which is attached to the marketing plan, is an incredible thing. So it adds 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the whole network, the value of your whole network. So it's been an incredible income thing for me, believe me, and it's been really exciting. Next slide, please. Now, the value of these networks that start underneath you and start developing leadership is where I have made $30 million. When some of these networks start to get developed, and let's look right above you to Neri Venn. Neri Venn today is second level to me. She has brought in well over 150 sales leaders into my network. Now, that's a lot of value. 15 to 20,000 a month from one network. And that shows you the value of these networks as they grow, because Shackley's going to pay you every month on the value of those networks. Now, the training part of this is exciting. So as you and I work together and I help you train some of your groups, I'm going to show these people in some other workshops of exactly how much money is going to be made. Now, let's take a look at the one going down the left side. That network pays you 6% on that first level, plus 3% infinity money. That's 9% you make on that one person. When he breaks one off, you get paid 6% plus 3%, 9% on the second levels. When the third level breaks off, you get 4% and 3, that's 7. And then 3% infinity all the way down. Now look at how much money that is as you start creating more and more networks as this thing starts to develop. Next slide, please. Okay, I want to just give you a summary of, if you look up in the left-hand corner, that was my company office in my basement, 1973. I had 4 little kids. I built those shelves at a little round table. Now this looked kind of mediocre, I realized, but that was my start in Shackley. my wife ran to help me down the basement. I was doing cancer research then. I was traveling around and doing cancer research in a lot of places. I was in Tarrytown, New York, the University of Chicago. I was in 3 years in Mayo's Clinic. But finally, I got done, and I quit the whole thing and came into Shackley full time. Right next to that's a picture of me once upon a time. Now, would you believe that guy right there could earn 30 million bucks? That's my first Shackley bonus car. Was I excited? That was a 73 Grand Torino. Well, then I become master coordinator. If you go on the left side, when you became master coordinator, you got to pick out any car made in the United States. In 1977, I picked out this Diamond Jubilee Edition Mark V. It had 2 diamonds in each of the back windows cut in. 2 diamonds that were valued at that time of over 4,000 bucks. And I got that car. Now, if that wasn't a gorgeous car, you think going down the road in that baby wasn't a thrill. Well, then in 1981, 87, they gave me a Corvette of my choice. I got to pick out any Corvette that you could have, and it was mine as a gift. I got this Corvette in 1987. Now, you think that wasn't exciting to have that Lincoln in my driveway and that Corvette in my driveway, and that's a high-performance Corvette at the time, which was quite a Corvette, with the entire racing team suspension underneath of it. That thing was a machine. And I'll tell you, it was exciting because Shackley gave it to me as a present. Next slide, please. Well, then in 1987, we became lifetime master coordinators. Boy, what a thrill that was. But that year, we got a Lincoln Platinum Town Car Jack Nicklaus series that had a set of clubs in the back. They were all gold plated. That car was a bus. And I'll tell you, it was one of a kind. I mean to tell you, that car, to this day, you've not seen one. They only made a few of them, and I had one. And I had that baby for 2 years. I drove it all over the United States. I was so proud of that car. And to this day, I will look back and say that's one of the finest automobiles I ever owned. That was a platinum edition Lincoln that they never made again. And we were so proud of it. Next slide, please. Well, my first bonus check from Shackley was $609. That was pretty exciting back then. But now I'm making $50,000 a month. Now, I've made $60,000 a month. I mean, I have made a lot of money at this thing. I'm telling you guys, this has been an incredible adventure to become a multi-millionaire. But next slide. Well, today we've been all over the world, but that's my $3 million home in Rapid City, South Dakota, setting up in Carriage Hills, up in the mountains or outside Rapid City. We built this home, 3 acres of ground on that home. Right next to it, we have a really nice villa we live in. Right below that is our home in Mesa, Arizona, which is up in the mountain also. $1 million home up in Mesa, Arizona. It's just like going to a resort with a pool and everything. Right next to that is my Cobra Shelby Mustang. 750 horses in that baby. And I'll tell you, I feel like somebody when I go down the road in that thing, because that was on my bucket list. And then we got a Shackley Mercedes when we made presidential. Mercedes hybrid. And then right above that is my office in Rapid City. I bought back years ago. I have a secretary in there 5 days a week. I live down here in Phoenix, Arizona. I love the winters down here. I love golfing. I'm a golf addict. And today I am a multi-millionaire. And it's all because of what I just showed you on this screen. I want you guys to know you're never going to find anything like this in your life that can create the income and the lifestyle. But I want you to remember, it's because of this company's philosophy and their products have made me rich. This company, there'll never be another one. The rest of your life, there'll never be another one. This company's taken 100 years to be developed. And I'm going to tell you something. They stand on that philosophy. They stand on those principles. And I'm telling you right now, you've got an opportunity sitting here that you'll never find again. I love all you guys. I'm willing to help you. I'm willing to keep teaching you. And I tell you, one of these days, I hope to see every one of you get pinned master coordinators. Thank you very much for taking this time with me. I appreciate it so much. God bless all of you.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Tim. Nice. Okay, guys, thanks so much for coming.